was that?
Okay, let's get out of here. We gotta get fucking out of here, man!
Yes!
First off, I just want to say that this video is not meant for you if you are a gatekeeping boomer. Sir, if you don't remove your dentures and apply your ointment to your fucking gums and listen before speaking your gatekeeping opinion selves in my comment section. And B, well, this is a two-part for B. B1, Zoomers who meat ride Gears 5. The game's not good. It will never be good. Stop saying it's a good multiplayer experience. It's not. And stop calling people bad because they hate Gears 5. Literally, I will wash you and take your lunch money in any type of matchup on Gears 5. Quit playing with me. Stop talking. And B2, the Zoomers who say let Gears die. We don't care. We like the game. We like the franchise. Let us try to revive it. Leave us alone. Out my comment section. Now another thing. If you agree with anything I say in this video, if you like the video, enjoy it, all I ask is that you leave a like, comment your opinions, subscribe if you want. I upload more than just Gears of War content, but you know what I'm saying? Subscribe if you want. And finally, if you do agree with, with things I say in here, what I ask above all, if you want to be extra, is if you could share this video to any type of streamer or content creator that likes Gears of War, Anticliff Belinsky or Blazinski, however you say his name, bro, and somebody at Microsoft. My target demographic goal for this video is those people, streamers, content creators, Cliffy B, Microsoft, the coalitions themselves, and just any passionate Gears of War fan. So with all that being said, let's get started. Ever since I was 6 years old, when Gears of War 1 dropped, and I saw the infamous trailer with Mad World playing in the background, I fell in love with Gears of War. Since then, since day one. Begged my dad for the game. At first he said no, but then he got it for me. And this is pre-ghosting arc. I'm still visiting my dad on weekends. I just thought it was so cool seeing this big buff guy with a do-rag running around with a chainsaw gun away from monsters. And then when I actually got the game, seeing these big beefy men in armor with that, with the same chainsaw gun fighting these lizard humanoid creatures. And it was dark, it was gritty, it was just such a fantastic gaming experience. Then Gears of War 2 came out of nowhere for me. I saw the trailer on TV at my grandfather's house. It was one of those big flat screens, like one of the first few flat screens. It was like a box screen, but also a flat screen. I remember seeing the trailer on there at my grandfather's house, and I thought it was so cool. Instantly wanted Gears 2. And at the time, I was so young playing these games. I wasn't even into multiplayer yet. I was just loving the campaign and Horde and Gears 2. These were fantastic gaming experiences. Love them. The Gears of War 3 trailer dropped. I'm older, I'm in middle school, and I'm hyped as shit. This would also be my introduction into multiplayer gaming, because all the other games I played, I still didn't play multiplayer. When I was playing Halo, I was playing campaign and Forge all day. When I was playing Call of Duty, I think this is when World at War was out, I was playing zombies all the time. But Gears of War 3 dropped, and I would taste the holy grail experience that is multiplayer gaming. Fighting PvP against other people was amazing. I met my first few Xbox friends on Gears of War 3. Shout out Rovan Deanda, Devontae Elise, however you say your last name, bro. Shout out to y'all. My two first friends on Xbox, and it was fantastic. I also learned the art of wall bouncing through a man named Smarvu. He has a YouTube video on ESS Moo Milk's channel. That man taught me the art of wall bouncing. He didn't have to. It was a phenomenal time in my life, learning how to move like a god, essentially. So with me making all these new friends, learning how to play the game, we would start joining clans, starting clans. It was so fun. It was such a great experience. I would even start a YouTube channel with me and my friends. This channel isn't up on YouTube anymore, but there's other people's channels with me inside their content. One of them being by my friend Hector. There's a rage Taj of me up there. We did watch a lot of Like Butter and Landon and Iceman and stuff like that, and we were inspired by them to start making content. Gears of War Judgment dropped and literally nobody liked it at the time. Not a single soul enjoyed that game that I know of. Looking back at it now, I believe that we did take that game for granted. There was some cool stuff in that game, and I believe with a few tweaks, that game could have been great, like reverting some of the stuff that was in the older games into the newer games, like bringing back active reloads, taking the reticle off the middle of the screen, making the D-pad switch weapons again instead of Y, starting out with the full loadout, fighting against Locust instead of human versus human games, things like that could have really fixed Gears Judgment and made it a really good game. People hated that game so much that we stopped playing it. And we went back to Gears of War 3 for a few years. Every day, still grinding, making content. The only games you can really find are on TDM, Guardian, and King of the Hill. But we're still enjoying ourselves. We're a little community. We're fighting against each other, talking shit, just having a good time. Then Gears of War Ultimate Edition drops. Personally, I wasn't here for Gears of War Ultimate Edition. I got kicked out of my mom's house, had to live with my dad, and you know, I wasn't allowed to play over there. I don't have much to say about Gears Ultimate Edition, but I'm sure it was great at the time. But it was not enough to sustain Gears of War's, you know, essence, their energy for the gaming community. People who are diehard Gears fans loved it, and other people were playing other games. Eventually, Gears of War 4 drops. During the beta, I remember people were actually praising Gears of War 4. People actually liked the beta. The only complaints I ever saw were the graphics. The graphics were terrible for the beta, but people did not understand at the time that it was a beta and not a full finished game. But other than the graphics, people liked the beta. And when the full game dropped, that's when I saw nothing but negativity for the game. I'm not sure what happened in between the beta and the full game, but people didn't like it. People didn't like the movement, people didn't like the cosmetics, people didn't like the way you obtain cosmetics by purchasing packs. The pack system was very popular at this time. Every game was doing it, and people did not like it. All Gears of War content creators were focusing all their content on these pack openings. And honestly, I think that was the worst time for Gears of War YouTube. I hated those videos. But eventually, the Coalition did manage to turn Gears of War 4 around, and at the end of its lifespan, it was actually a very enjoyable game. And later on, Gears 5 would drop. I'm not sure what the Coalition was thinking with this game, but this game was literally the worst thing that could have happened to the game. Like, Gears 4 was bad, but this... why? Why did this game have to come out the way it did? People were noticing the games lose its dark and grittiness over time, and would point it out, but Gears 5 might as well have been Fortnite's twin brother. That game was super colorful, super ugly. They promised an open world, which they delivered, but it was a terrible open world. It was so empty and lifeless, just riding around this glider thing all day. And the most action you got during that was going through terrains. There was never really any enemies or anything, and it was kind of like going across, you know, just deserts. The AI has got to be some of the worst AI I've ever seen in gaming. Like the robots, I can understand they're robots, so them walking the way they did and, you know, shooting the way they did, that's understandable. But they applied that same coding and mechanics to the Swarm as well. They all moved like robots. They were lifeless. The Swarm is supposed to be fearful, you know, and menacing. just like the Locust. But I didn't get that feeling at all playing any type of AI game modes. Not in the campaign, not in Horde, not in Escape, not at all. It was so boring, and I cannot believe people actually defend the AI in this game in like the PvE game modes. It's terrible. How do you defend that? So with the game being all colorful and stuff, the multiplayer not being fun anymore, the AI being garbage, the characters sucked. What did they do to Marcus? They feminized him, made him a bitch, made Kate whiny and entitled. What was that scene with JD and Dell with that choice? You ruined the campaign. You ruined it. You ruined it. I don't think there's a comeback for this franchise if they continue with Gear 6. There's no way to save it. Gear 6 to me is not going to do much for the franchise. People are going to play the campaign, say it's fantastic, play a little bit of multiplayer, then move on with their life for the next game. I personally think Gears of War should move towards a different direction when it comes to their campaign and multiplayer. But first, we're going to discuss the campaign. In my opinion, the campaign should move back in time. Scratch Kate's story. I do not care about her story. It sucks. I think it should go back. I saw this Twitter reply to one of my tweets talking about how I would love a first-person horror game for Gears, and this person mentioned have it being in the perspective of Queen Mira as a child during the time where she's getting experimented on and stuff, and to me that would be an amazing interlude to the story, having you know run away from scientists and whatnot and just having things go wrong or whatever, and then it flashes forward and you wake up as like a stranded or like a cog soldier or something. Like you're not somebody important to the story, like you're not a hero. And the reason why I think it should take this approach is simply because of Star Wars. I remember playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and loving every second of that game, and you weren't even an important hero Jedi. You were just some kid, and all the things you experienced as that kid was amazing. It was such a good experience, learning, just growing with him as a Jedi. Spoiler alert, and at the end, when the big reveal hits and he runs into Darth Vader, I thought it was a fantastic game. You really just figure out, wow, you survived Darth Vader and you're just some freaking kid. I think the same thing should apply to Gears of War for the next game. You're just some stranded trying to survive E-Day. You're seeing all these things go on around you and you're just trying your best to survive. And yes, this could be a third-person experience, but I think it should be a first-person experience. And I think it should play similarly to Resident Evil. And when I say Resident Evil, I mean Resident Evil 7 and 8. Two phenomenal horror games that I love. I love 7 and 8 more than I love any of the other Resident Evils. Personally, in my opinion, they're just great. I think the Coalition should take inspiration from those games when it comes to the fighting mechanics and stuff. And what's great about this is, as a stranded, there's possibilities where you could run into certain people, you could run into certain enemies, you could run into certain heroes, they can interact with each other. There's this one scene in Gears of War 2 where Marcus runs into, I think it's the guy who ran the gas station actually. I think Marcus ran into him again in Gears of War 2 before they go into the water in those tunnels or whatever. So I know that it's possible that this could work. You could probably make the story based around that gas station guy actually. Have him roaming around, finding other survivors, him losing survivors, him gaining survivors, getting betrayed by survivors. There's so much you could do if you were to do a first-person horror game. And personally, I think the story will be way more interesting than whatever Kate has going on with her family drama life. And if this does happen ever someday, please give the game back to Cliff. He'll know exactly what to do. Now, when it comes to the multiplayer, I think the base game mode should just be TDM, King of the Hill, Guardian, and the esports mode. I'm not going to talk about the esports mode because I'm not much of an esports person. When I get my setup back, I do want to start trying to play more competitively with the games I play because I know I have the skill to do so, but I just never really cared like that. But I want to really, try for the gaming scene, and no matter what I'm doing. Because in my head, I don't know if it's my ego, but I just believe that I'm one of the most underrated people on the internet in every aspect of the word. So those 3 game modes plus an esports mode for the base game. And I think this game needs a big multiplayer type game mode. I don't care if it's a battle royale or something else. But the way I have it playing in my head is something like Battlefield, I think. The way I was thinking it would play out, I'm gonna use one map in mind. This could be expanded into many different maps, but the one that I'm thinking of that I have in mind is this. Gears of War 2, the scene before you first meet Scourge, you have those little drilling thingies, I don't know what they're called, and you go underground into the Locust tunnels. A side of 4 heroes, and fighting with those heroes is a bunch of, random COG soldiers, and those COG soldiers are filled up by actual players, it's not bots. And it's completely randomized. You don't know if you're going to be a hero or if you're going to be a random soldier. And you all go down in the tunnels. There's like a little cutscene in the beginning. You're all loading up into the tunnels. You're like, let's invade this place. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, war, battle. We're going to take over this Locust tunnel. Gonna fill the holes. You feel me? So you all go down. In this game, which should be class-based, you don't start off with the full loadout. You either get a shotgun, you either get a lancer, you get a sniper or something, or a marks or whatever. Like, it's class based, but you are able to find guns underground and pick stuff up off of enemies. But on the other opposing team is the Locust, the defendings, and they already have a full loadout. They have everything they need and things of that nature. The Locust side, they're all set up. They have defenses. Their goal is to defend their spots, and there's multiple spots. There's like an A and a B and like a C or whatever. The COG's goal is to set up explosives on each of them, destroy parts of the tunnel until, the tunnel's destroyed. The Locust side, they're just trying to defend it. The way the Locust could win is if they defend it for long enough. This isn't life-based, this is time-based. Give us a certain amount of time to either destroy or defend. Whoa, pause. I got something I need to say. So after putting all this footage into Sony Vegas and, doing all my After Effects, by the way, I'm learning After Effects. Hope you guys liked it in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? With that little parallax movement thingy I made, you know what I'm saying? That was attempt 1. I'm just learning different editing softwares now so I can, improve myself for the marketplace. So if any streamer, YouTubers watching this, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need a video editor. I think I'm doing a pretty good job with this dookie laptop I have here. My potential knows no bounds. I am literally bound to become the next editing avatar. Master of all editing softwares, literally. Anywho, as I was saying, as I was watching back the footage, I noticed that I was describing Judgment's Overrun game mode when I was talking about the multiplayer game mode. And I'm pointing it out because the way that I envision it in my head, it plays nothing like Judgment Overrun, but essentially it is Judgment Overrun, but bigabized into like Battlefield size, if you get what I mean. So you have the different classes. You spawn in like you would in Battlefield, just like at spawn points or spawn in on your teammates or whatever. Then you have, the 3 objectives of destroying those, spots with a bomb or whatever, and, have the teams defending and, attacking and things of that nature. And there's also waiting to be used, like Ravens and Brumaks and Ravers, just to make a big war zone basically. And like the way, I don't know, just the way I envision it in my head playing out, I think it'd be great and fantastic. And to me, this game mode, I don't care if it's first person or third person. I don't care what type of movement they throw in it. I don't care if they put enough walls to have wall bouncing in it. I don't care if they don't have wall bouncing at all, actually. I just want innovation for this game. I love this franchise, and I just want it to innovate and just do something different that will put it back on the map and make it great again. And I just don't think making it like Gears 1 again is gonna do that. Like, sure, you can make the argument that, well, look at Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite's doing great right now. And my argument statement to that is, how long is that gonna last? We're not sure how long Halo Infinite is gonna last. Will it last longer than a year? I'm not sure how long it's been out for, now, but you know what I'm saying? Like, how long is that gonna last? I want a game that's gonna last a long time. I don't want like a trending game. I want stability with the game. I want it to, do good for a long time, like Fortnite did. Unfortunately, I have to compare it to Fortnite because Fortnite's still, somewhat popular. Like, it's not as popular as it was, but it's still going. And add on what I was talking about with the esports mode and how I don't want to get involved with it at all. I changed my mind. The esports modes, or for the esports, game mode, I don't think esports players should decide what the game mode is. I think we should, look at all the game modes that are available, see which ones pop in and build off of that game mode, the most popular one, and build off of it. If you need to, have a temporary esports mode, like bring escalation back to see how that plays out, and just have it there, then do that. But essentially what I'm trying to get at is make the game fun first before focusing on esports. Like, just make sure the game's playable for everybody and everybody's enjoying it, because then people will actually want to get involved with esports. So in conclusion, to recap and wrap things up, I believe Gears of War needs to take a new direction with their campaign, and that direction to me is a first person horror game where you're not even playing as a hero or anyone important to the actual universe itself. You're just some guy trying to survive. And multiplayer should add a big battlefield type game mode that plays kind of like Overrun from Gears of War Judgment, but not like Overrun at all. And finally, before putting esports in front of the game, make it fun and make it good. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like I said, if any streamer, YouTuber watching this needs an editor or knows anybody that needs an editor, please point them in my direction. I am looking to edit full time for somebody. I'm currently learning After Effects and Premiere Pro, but I'm super good at Vegas Pro. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video, whatever it may be, and whenever it may be, because I'm not sure when that's going to be because I do not have a setup. Goodbye.